This episode was brought to you by the following patrons: Sunzi, Stephanie, Wolfric, Natasha, Sophia, Garotica, Vance, Cody, Boeasy, Jeremy, Brother, Ali, Nathan, Jennifer with a PH, Mr. Ragebomb, Libby, Wes, Dreskel, Aaron, Kristen, Tia, Lauren, Jonathan, Kate, Alex, Isaac, and Karoon. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group where we hang out daily.
So one of the scenes in the trailer is like Lethal Weapon, where like a lot of the Cardinals are like, give us your rosary and your Bible. And he's like, you could dig into my boss, the Pope. And it's Russell Crowe saying it.
Yes! What if it's kind of like Constantine, but like not officially Constantine, where he's basically just like, you know, the Batman of exorcists?
It all depends on the Pope's exorcist backstory. Like,
He was a gritty Chicago cop
Right?
until one day
yes,
he fell in a vat of holy water and emerged the Pope's exorcist.
Todd, if that happens in the movie, that will be completely like tone-wise on point for
with
the trailer.
Yeah.
If the Pope's exorcist does not end with Russell Crowe and the new recruit exorcist running around the Vatican with super soakers full of holy water, I'll be very upset.
I don't think it's gonna go that far. He doesn't have. I don't think he does. I don't think he has an apprentice or anything. It really is like hard-boiled detective priest after the
Yes.
demon that's like jumping around.
I'm getting too God for this shit.
I need him to like waltz into a church and just be like, are you not entertained? Like, that's what I need from
Are
him.
you not exercised?
Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
Oh, Mikey.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this week, we didn't watch The Pope's Exorcist. We watched Child's Play 3. So was this the first time either of you had seen this movie before?
This was my first time. I've definitely seen the one after this a bunch of times and
Okay.
did not realize this one existed. And then Jake was like, oh, you have to watch 3? And then just walked out of the room. So
I love Jake.
I watched it as a kid, you know?
Sure.
I remember it much differently.
Oh, I'm sure you do. Yeah.
I was like, this is the one with the badass like paintball scenes and stuff where they're like doing war games. And I was like, oh, they don't really like take that to fruition very well. But
no, they
it
don't.
was cool to think about as a kid.
also, I'm pretty sure that's not how paintball works.
No, you don't put paint at the end of live rounds with
Yeah,
actual
I
gunpowder.
was
No.
like, what?
I literally wrote that in my notes. I was like, I wasn't playing paintball in 91. Did the guns look, I don't know, exactly the same as real life guns?
I have a fun fact. So there is a thing called simu rounds, which are like real, like at the police academy when they used to train with them, where like I would wear protective material and
then Michael Winslow just makes gunshot noises.
No, and it was like you could shoot, like I'd have a gun and you could shoot them, and if they got paint on them, and vice versa or whatever. But it's
Yeah.
like for training purpose. It's supposed to be as realistic as possible.
Yes.
Now, it's not. It's still dangerous. So like, I wouldn't give it to children without eye protection like they did. But very, very dangerous. But they stopped doing it because that stuff it hurt. They're like real rounds with paint on them.
Well, paintballs hurt.
Yeah.
So
they
I
had
can only imagine
injuries.
how much worse real rounds would be.
But so it does exist. You can put it was like in real Glocks and stuff where you can fire that stuff.
Wow.
All right.
But it's really, really expensive.
So that's where Blade got his garlic Glock.
No, he said those are silver hollow point bullets with garlic inside the hollow point.
That's so
you weren't paying attention. Okay.
I just need cuts of Whistler with a magic bullet full of garlic, just like
Just mashing him into the hollow point of each bullet.
I would just be shooting my pasta like, you need more garlic. Pop, 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 pop.
I stand by my assertion that Blade should just be loading cloves into a magazine.
That's what I was thinking when I was making the reference. Yeah, that was the image in my head.
Would you give them to as young as a 7-year-old?
No.
No, I wouldn't give a paint gun to a 7-year-old.
They don't have any protective glasses. Like all of those kids. I mean, it was just as dangerous before Chucky put the live rounds into the guns. It's all I'm saying.
I don't know about just as dangerous, Mikey. It was still dangerous, but I would take a paintball bullet over a real bullet any day.
Also, these kids were carrying real grenades.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't like a paint grenade. When that kid who has literally been like a coward the whole movie, like goes and sacrifices himself. I thought he was gonna like get back up and be like, oh, it's just blue paint.
It's just blue paint.
And then when they showed he died, I was like, oh my God.
I don't think he's a coward. I think he was like tortured. That poor child.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
like
yeah.
super bullied and traumatized.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what you get for going to school at District 2's Hunger Games Prep Academy.
Oh, I have like moral problems with this school and schools of this type.
Oh, do you? You have problems
Yeah, I
with schools
do.
that like torture children? What's wrong with you, Paige? Oh, you have compassion?
Yeah.
I'm going to take one angle in this episode, and it's that if every faculty was as passionate about helping children as one man was about keeping their hair okay,
No.
then that school would have been the best
No,
school
sir.
in the world.
No, that guy was
man-
definitely jerking off into that hair.
Dude, the first time you see him, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get it clean shaven.
You
Oh,
guys are
yeah,
perverts. He's
baby.
obviously a perfectionist. He loves his job. He loves helping children.
The problem is, Mikey, he loves his job to completion. That's the issue
Yeah,
Paige and
exactly.
I have. Yes.
I'm gonna take a page out of Todd Petty's book and be like, the movie doesn't show that, Todd.
I would argue
the
it
movie,
very
in
clearly
fact,
does.
shows
Oh no,
that.
it does not show him
He's got their
ejaculating.
hair with their photo on the wall. I was like, oh God.
Paige, you mean trophies? He's got trophies?
Yes, I mean trophies.
Yeah.
All salons have pictures of their like nice haircuts.
No, not
This
like
man
that.
loves those children.
A little too much, Mikey.
He doesn't even pay attention to them. He's like, your hair, 2 days. He's a master hairist. He's like, be there on Thursday.
Oh,
That's
no.
when your hair will be ready.
For me. That's when your hair will be
me.
ready for me
For me,
to molest it.
I would wonder if there are any other faculty members at the school, since everything seems to be run by just the largest child.
Yes.
Here at Hunger Games Academy, the largest child is in charge.
I mean, that basically is what this film depicts. And there's a part of me that's like, if this is how these schools really work, I have even more problems, because that's just a breeding ground for torturing smaller children.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I'm 100% sure bullying was invented at one of these places. I mean, it was probably in Rome somewhere, but like, yeah.
I would say Sparta.
Yeah.
Sparta, maybe.
It's those kind of District 12 attitudes that would cost us the Hunger Games. The strongest and biggest we need to survive to win. Then we get more rations. I don't understand what's wrong with you two people here.
I don't want to be in the Hunger Games.
There's no way you both weren't born into District 13.
Wait, which one's
What?
13?
District 13 is the hidden one underground.
Oh, is it? I thought District 13 was like the rich one.
That's the capital.
It's the capital.
Oh.
One- it goes down in numbers. There's one underground. Man, it's been a long time since I read those books.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea what happens in the Hunger Games. I saw all those movies.
As I keep making these series of jokes,
I mean, your jokes were a high enough level that I got them, you know? Like, it wasn't like you made a District 13 joke not knowing what the fuck that actually was.
I'm like, well, actually, Todd, that was a military-based district that was bombed and they thought was destroyed, but they're still
Oh,
alive.
I vaguely remember that.
That's
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I just remember that I was like super into the first two books. I was like, holy shit. And then in the third one, it's like, by the way, this has all been an allegory for the Vietnam War. I was like, fuck. Like,
Well, there's something good and bad about writing realistic depictions of war and PTSD.
Yeah.
Like the first two Hunger Games really scratched that like post-apocalyptic action book itch.
Yes.
And in the third game, she's like, I'm broken and will never recover. And I'm like, oh, this is
I'm
kind
a
of a
burned out
downer.
shell of a person, but I guess PETA's fine. And you're just like, what the fuck?
I was like, oh, this is kind of makes it more sad, I guess. But look at this cool technology they made.
Look at all these fun animal hybrids with human eyes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, back in District 2 at the Kent Military Academy.
Back at HGA, Hunger Games Academy.
If you guys do really well at school, Paige, we'll send you to the circus that's in the valley where no other buildings exist.
Literally a circus in the middle of the forest, guys.
Well, that's where good warriors go to unwind. And so, like, you don't get that unless you are the biggest, meanest kid.
Although, I will say this. A lot of sex work tends to follow, like, military troops or be close to military troops. So I do sort of think a circus is sort of the childhood soldier version of that. That's, like, also PG-13. So that actually sort of makes sense to me. I'm going to give them a pass on it.
Just a mobile Chuck E. Cheese, like, welcome beyond the new.
It's all animatronic burlesque.
The sex fair is over in District 69, okay?
I love watching Chucky spin his string cheese nipples.
Chucky sucked in this one. He really woke up and forgot how to fight.
I think the puppetry in this one was tough.
Oh, you mean where it's very clear when you're seeing Chucky walk that it's just some guy holding a doll and moving the doll's shoulders? Yeah, like
very funny to me. But there are huge sections where you just don't see Chucky and you only see an arm or something in the background implying that he's there.
Oh, they'll do like Chucky cam.
Yeah.
Where you just see like his point of view.
More so than the last two. And I think there must have been, I know there were time constraints on this movie, not necessarily budget constraints, but it made me wonder if because of the time constraints, they were just not able to do the puppetry the way that they had previously.
Yeah.
I'll burn a fun fact. This is the first Chucky movie to have digitized Chucky's facial expressions. And I'm going to say,
mistake.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, until the next Chucky 7 years later, they had kind of gotten it down.
Oh, sure. This was 91. Like, that's super early for that kind of work.
Yeah. When we get to Bride of Chucky, they're a lot better at it, and it's a lot more seamless, I would say.
Yeah. This was clearly the first time I had seen this movie, although I think I saw part of it, like when they first get to the academy. I think I saw that on TV when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything else. I remember that one scene, and that was pretty much it. So I must have like walked through the room and it stuck with me or whatever.
Interesting.
But yeah, I have no memory of the rest of this movie, and it was sort of what I expected from a Chucky movie in 91.
I honestly expected more kills.
Yeah.
And more plot. This movie takes a whole hell of a lot of time to the point where if I hadn't read, and it's only 90 minutes long, and it's still at points just being like, come on, get to
Paige, it. This film is 90 minutes. The opening credits are like 4 minutes. And then the first kill takes 20 minutes. So you're like, what is happening in this movie?
Well, his blood gets mixed into a new doll.
Well, no, we know that, but like...
Not what I meant.
That takes 4 minutes in the microwave to really gel together.
In the little creepy crawlers discs or whatever.
Oh my God, I had creepy crawlers.
I also had creepy crawlers. But like, if I did not know that this was specifically written as a sequel while the other one was still being filmed.
What?
So that this could have a 9-month turnaround from script start to end of post-production.
Wow. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. I would have said that this was probably a movie about a slasher at a military school that they then just like,
Painted
Command
Chucky
F, insert
into?
Chucky.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not at all surprising that they needed a quick turnaround for this because it feels like it. Because there's probably really 40 minutes of an actual story.
Yes.
And the rest of it is like stalking the CEO and opening credits.
Yeah. Or just bullying amongst the children before Chucky even gets there. It's just like, it's a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. With his like 30-year-old woman classmate.
Oh, you mean Ari Gold's wife? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, when she lets her hair down, she somehow looks older?
She somehow looks her age, which is probably no joke, 25, 30, like in there.
Easy. And at one point, when she's like working with him in the shooting range, they're all in just like sweatshirts and baggy pants. And then she turns and I was like, they tailored those pants for her curves. I was like, what? Like they very clearly tailored her clothes so that she looks more, I would guess that they just look tighter or whatever. But I was like, this is very clearly an adult woman.
Yeah.
Like next to these literal children.
She's actually 21 Jump Streeting bullying in the school.
We're here with the evil doll unit.
The Capitol sent us. I'm here at District 2 hunting the evil doll. We need the Hunger Games to work.
I'm with 21 Jump Rope Street.
Yes. This will be fun to talk about.
Yeah, it definitely will.
I mean, the movie it hits all the great marks to me of 80s horror, of just like camp, nonsense, a little bit of terror, nothing makes sense, people make bad decisions, adults are just terrible to everyone at all times.
I would argue the adults are not that bad with the exception of Mr. Haircut. The adults are just completely ignoring the fact that the biggest children are running a literal almost like torture camp.
Yeah, what you don't know is that this whole HGA, Hunger Games Academy, is run ultimately by Milgram.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, here, you guys got to hear me out with this Hunger Games analogy. The haircut guy is
Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz.
Absolutely not. No. Lenny Kravitz is the same, and I will not hear anything otherwise. That man brought us Rock and Roll is Dead.
How do you think Stanley Tucci got his weird collars and his giant headphones?
Who do you think tailored her undercover doll unit clothes?
I mean, if it had a 90s Lenny Kravitz in this movie, I'd have been here for it. And if they had offered, 90s Lenny Kravitz probably would have been in this movie.
Honestly, 90s Lenny Kravitz would have stole from everybody because that man was beautiful.
I think he was still going by Romeo Blue at that time, actually.
Ooh.
I had a laugh line for the episode that was really funny, but
What was it?
can I tell the story?
Yeah.
I had a friend come over and bring her puppy last night, and it's just a friend, but she is attractive.
Yeah, you
Okay.
say she's just a friend.
But she brought her puppy here.
Oh, baby! You! Go ahead. What was your story?
So we were taking videos of the puppies playing. My dog's very good with puppies.
Oh, I saw your story. I
Yeah.
actually asked whose dog that was because it was super cute.
My mom watched her story.
Okay.
My mom is not friends with her. I got a text this morning that was like, hey, your mom watched my Instagram story last night. So that means my mom saw that I posted something that she was at my house. So that my mom Instagram stalked her and watched her story.
Yeah.
Your mom
That's
wants to
embarrassing.
know who you're hanging out with. Maybe you should communicate with your mom.
I would say this is a thing that moms do when you're single.
Yeah.
Because my mom doesn't do it now necessarily, but when I had not brought a boyfriend home in a long time, I think a lot of that was going on.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I love that this movie ended at that like amusement park or fair or whatever, festival, whatever you call that thing, carnival. And like the final roller coaster took place at the exact place the aggro crag was.
I was thinking that the whole time. I was like, it's the same colors as the aggro crag.
He's climbing the
But also,
aggro crag at
Todd,
the end.
How do you know about the aggro crag, Todd?
Because I had rich friends. Come on now, I'm charming.
Okay. I was
People
like,
would invite
did
me
you Google
over.
the aggro crag just to talk about it?
So so Paige, they filmed all of those shows in close to Orlando where I lived. So I had a few friends that were on that show, and I went to their houses to watch it.
If you won, you got a piece of the aggro crag.
Yeah.
Do they have the piece
My
of the
friend
aggro
has
crag?
one.
Shut the fuck up. Can I make a pilgrimage and touch it?
Out of the 3 kids I knew that were on it, only one of them got a piece of it. The other 2 couldn't make it up because they suck.
You can eBay them now, and they sell them for like $1,000.
They do sell, and I watch for them on eBay every once in a while because I just want one. I wanted one as a kid. I wanted to climb the aggro crag.
I know. My favorite moment of the end is when Andy Barclay gets put in a police car and he turns to his 45-year-old girlfriend and says, don't worry, I've been accused of murder many times. I got this.
Just tell him a doll did it. Wanky blanky.
I'll be out in a couple years, a la Baby Driver.
I wish instead of the credits rolling at that part, it cuts back to the aggro crag sort of under the fans, and it's just like a janitor with like a broom, and he comes across a bloody like baby shoe, and he's like, oh my God, we killed a child. Because that's what it would look like to anyone who's going in there to pick up the Chucky remains.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw those janitors as well at the end of that show, and they turn all the lights off for them to pick up the trash at the circus. So I was like, they can't do their job effectively
No, they
doing
cannot.
that. And that really bothered me. And they weren't even like grid doing it. They're just like walking around randomly. And I was just like, this is not effective. This trash will never get picked up.
Yeah.
Mikey, you were a very effective middle manager.
At least keep the lights on.
Maybe we should get into this movie so we can go through it scene by scene.
All right. So we open in the Chucky factory from the last movie, and it's covered in cobwebs, and they're cleaning off the dolls off of all of the like conveyor belts.
It's been 15 years, right?
It doesn't say, right?
It's 8 years is
Okay.
what it's
Okay.
supposed to be.
Okay.
But there was a thing that they had written but never shot that would have explained this a lot better.
Is it that spiders like broke in there and set up shop?
No.
Because that's a lot of cobwebs for even 8 years.
Yeah. So in the piece that goes unfilmed, there were 2 children playing in the factory, like the old factory, telling each other the story of what happened with Chucky. As they're playing, they accidentally hit the lever to turn one of the machines on, and John Ritter played a security guard who would like chase them out, in part because Jason Ritter was supposed to play one of the kids at the military school and ends up not doing that for some reason. But this entire thing goes unfilmed. So we have no idea that it was 8 years ago.
Yeah, we don't
but
at all.
It is 8 years ago. 8 years ago, they're clearing out the factory. A winch tries to pull melted Chucky up off the floor, and as they do, he bleeds. Like, there's blood everywhere, which doesn't seem to concern anybody.
Yeah, nobody stops anything they're doing. They're just like, oh, it's fine. This doll is bleeding.
There's a lot of red dye in the factory. D-I-E.
In the unfilmed part, one of the little girls was supposed to go up to melted Chucky, and he was supposed to try and bite her, meaning that like he was still alive even though he was melted.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
So, okay, the thing I hated most about this movie that I think I ultimately liked because it's crazy, but I thought it was going to be so much crazier than it was.
You thought it was going to be multiple Chuckies?
I thought it was going to be a fucking 1,000 Chuckies at the end that they are then like mowing down with like machine guns or like grenades that like, they got from the armory.
That was the original idea.
Fuck,
so here,
okay. That would have been so
that
much
would have been
better.
so much cooler.
Okay, so because and that's like, so the opening, right? So they winch the melted Chucky up and they're dragging him across the factory, and as they do, his blood falls into the vat of silicone.
Yes.
And then we get the 4.5 minute credit sequence of it pouring the new Chucky doll with his blood in it. But because it's liquid silicone, all of those Chucky dolls would have his blood in them, right?
Because it's super mixed up. Like, it shows on camera, it mixing the blood into all of it.
Right. And so, like, as I was watching this movie, when they were like, it's the first one off the assembly line, I was like, he's the only evil one? Like, I mean, that does, okay, I guess. But then in Fun Facts found out that Don Mancini's original plan was for it to be an army of Chuckies, and that all of them that came out of the machine were evil, and they just, for budget constraints, couldn't do it. So he saves that idea for Cult of Chucky, which comes out later.
Okay.
So eventually that does happen, just not in this movie.
I mean, it is a perfect setup for it in this movie. I mean, I thought that's what they were foreshadowing, you know?
I thought so too. And I did find it kind of funny that so when it starts the credits, it's the swirl of the silicone.
Yeah.
And it looks like the James Bond logo, like the circle.
Does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? But if Chucky had come up with a knife and been like, ha, what up, what up?
Yeah,
that would have been awesome. Hell yeah.
Now
I just want a shot-for-shot remake of Casino Royale played by Chucky.
With Chucky.
The crawling around in the air ducts would make a lot more sense.
It would. I was specifically thinking about the chair where the villain straps James Bond, or Chucky in this case, to a chair and hits him in the nuts with that rope.
Yeah.
Like, that scene would have been very funny with Chucky. Someone deep fake that.
I was just picturing him sitting at a card table across from, it's Mads Mikkelsen, right?
It is, yeah.
Who has the like bleeding eye or
he's
whatever.
The villain. Yeah, he's so good in it too.
And him just being like, check, or whatever. Just like,
check? They're not playing chess, Paige.
It's 7 a.m. I'm so tired. It's too early for brain.
Oh, shit. I think you might check, like, if you pass your bid to somebody, whatever.
I don't know. I don't play the table games. I'm the penny slot kind of bitch.
Hell yeah.
Penny slot.
Oh, I'm going to win tens of dollars today.
Hey, I was in Vegas a couple weeks ago and won like collectively over the weekend like $800, and then lost like 400 of those $800.
Easy come, easy go.
That was my experience in Vegas. I went and played single hand blackjack, and I was up like $400, and I left up $20. I was like, I have to stop now.
Hey, you're still up.
Because if I never play again in Vegas, I won money in Vegas, and I love that. I'm never playing again in Vegas.
Yeah.
One night I got up $1,000, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't win any of this money. Let's play like a rich person.
Oh,
No.
Mikey, that's so dangerous.
It was so fun. Brought home like $100. But I was like, once you turn it into chips, it's fun money. It doesn't exist. You lost your $200. It's already gone.
Yeah.
Now you get to just play.
What you've just described is why gambling makes billions of dollars a year.
Anyway, so after the James Bond circle, it's just like bloody ripping silicone, pouring silicone for like 4.5 minutes.
And then like reverse melting Chucky, so it looks like it's building
Right.
Chucky. Yeah.
Kind of Halloween-ish,
Yeah.
where they do the pumpkin. Yeah.
I honestly didn't hate the credits.
No.
I hated the length of the credits. Everything they're showing was kind of cool. It was just 30 seconds per shot when it should have been 5 seconds per shot.
Right. And the movie's only 91 minutes to begin with. So of the runtime, like we're just chipping away at story at this point.
Yeah. And chipping away the story continues in the CEO murder scene.
Right. Because we end the credits with Chucky screaming. He screams, for he is dull. And we cut to a board meeting where they're like, Andy Barclay, which it drove me nuts that his name is spelled Barclay and everyone calls him Barclay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this entire boardroom is just like, I don't know. There was like 2 murder cases with this doll. Should we make more of them? And they're like, look. The assholes down the street have a Furby that shits itself. We've got to get these dolls to the market right now.
I do love that the whole movie starts off with like a board meeting talking about how one shitty kid ruined a great toy. Like, I was like,
Right.
no, that toy murdered a bunch of people, you crazy fucks. Like,
Yeah. And they're like, but it outsold 2 to 1.
First off, I don't want to be like a Andy Barclay hater.
no one will be surprised that you are.
But if you're a reasonable adult, you're not going to assume a doll came to life and murdered 15 people.
I don't know, man. Like, how has he not gone to jail for those murders then if other people don't know about Chucky as a murder doll? I don't understand that.
Well, yeah, he went to a hospital for a while because we see that report.
Sure.
And his mom seems like she got blamed for the murders and she's still in a hospital.
I think his mom got blamed for the first ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he spent time in the hospital for the second one. But I also think that there's no way you could prove it was him in the second one. Because there's the one where the dad like falls down the stairs. You definitely can't prove is him.
I
No.
definitely think he's taken the fall for all of these murders in this film.
See, I don't think so because there's witnesses. This is the one that I'm like, he's going to go free and the world is going to find out about Chucky because like 14 people saw this.
That is true. You're right. Because Ari Gold's wife did see Chucky alive, right?
Yeah.
Well, she's got an emotional connection and a vested interest to life for him.
But also a bunch of the other students saw it too.
That's true.
Well, yeah, because he murdered the bullies and they don't want him to get in trouble.
But he also didn't murder the bullies. Like provably he was in a different place. Like he has an alibi.
I think we'll have to let a jury settle it.
I think a jury would acquit him.
I definitely see him being railroaded into taking the fall for all this and like adults just making it like, okay, you shut up. Don't say anything. And like, he's going to jail, especially with his attitude of like, this is what I did last time.
I mean, do I think that the U.S. government would cover up that one of these dolls was a murderous doll just so one company could make more money? Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds very on brand for the American government.
But I think they would just pay him off. I
Yeah,
don't think
same.
they'd send him to jail. I
Yeah.
think they would just pay him off with an NDA and then have someone assassinate him a few years later. I'm thinking like, whenever it's like, hey, somebody was never a drug user, but all of a sudden they died of a heroin overdose. It's like, were they hiding an addiction? Maybe.
Sure.
This kid's murdered a bunch of people is all I'm saying.
He is not. He hasn't. And he wouldn't be convicted either.
You sound just like the CEO of Mattel.
It's not my fault that they lessen toy regulations and restrictions.
I'm just trying to get my shit pants Furby onto the market.
I didn't realize that this movie took place in East Palestine. My bad.
Anyway, so one of the board members is like, I feel like this is a bad idea. What if the doll was murderous? And they're just like, shut up, Jared! They're just like, no one listens
Well,
to him.
yeah, can you imagine being in a business meeting and someone being like, well, what if the kid was telling the truth and the doll came to life and murdered 15 people? I'd be like, you need help.
I do love how it cuts to the CEO and he's like, listen, it's sad, but like this company doesn't care about people. This company cares about the bottom line. And I was like, what an
Listen,
appropriate way to
fuck
sum
them
up
kids.
capitalism. Exactly, Paige. Yes.
The company was innocent. It was a voodoo serial killer who caused the murders.
Oh, I hate everything about the voodoo aspect of this.
I hate that it's still here.
I thought it was
no
gone by this one.
reason.
I hated it so much, Mikey.
I thought they dropped it like pretty quickly in the series. I was wrong. I'm going to go ahead and eat my words.
In fun facts, they do in the next one, and he's got like an amulet that he supposedly had the whole time.
Oh my God. I cannot wait to see this amulet that technically has been in every movie. We just haven't seen it on screen yet.
Well,
Yeah.
what you guys don't understand is that this whole movie took place in New Orleans.
God, I am so excited for Blade 2. Sorry, side note.
I know.
Can't wait. I know we're about to move into the scene where the CEO goes to his office, but I have to say this. If the CEO could turn off the lights to his office while sitting on his couch, some bad shit goes down in that office. Like, that's a Matt Lauer kind of amenity.
Todd, it's a 90s CEO's office. Bad shit goes down in that office.
I'm just saying, like, I would not go in that office.
He's put the handle of that golf club up a couple people.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm not going to blame him because in context, he was a 12-year-old who wished to be big and then started working at a toy company and was molested by an older woman at that company. So it's really just the cycle of what's happening over there.
I do love that this is Tom Hanks from Big if he never went small again.
Where he's just aggressively like, fuck them kids.
Yeah.
They have it so easy and they don't know.
I didn't know what I had until I didn't have it. Now I'm bitter about it.
You guys, you can make every movie great when you have a good imagination.
Oh, God.
I'm going to drop in the More You Know song, like, after you say that.
Yeah. So they bring, at the end of the board meeting, they bring him the first good guy doll off the assembly line and put it in his office.
Yeah.
His assistant leaves taking a file, and then he literally, this dude just farts around his office for like 20 minutes.
It is a scene from Big.
I honestly think they shot this movie like from the moment they get from the Hunger Games Academy to the end of the movie. And then they were like, shit, we need the CEO kill to take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So they were just like, all right, do shit around the office for 20 minutes.
Well, and the thing that kept getting me about this scene is because Chucky is like under the couch and then is miraculously across the room. Like no one saw him go anywhere.
But we find out later in this movie, Chucky can teleport when he's in the garbage truck and then is in the passenger side of the garbage truck immediately.
Yeah. Well, and then he's like in the armory, but then was just with the knives and like somehow like speed loads like 100 rifles. Is crazy.
Yeah, it's great.
Anyway, so this dude is like golfing in his office, walking around, and then Chucky basically just kills him for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think he deserved it, the CEO, because he was married. He should have been at home with his wife, not farting around his office.
Yeah, but he had to slip on marbles and then activate a back injury, which then Chucky threw a dart and exactly hit his sciatic nerve, paralyzing him.
I think he lived in that office because he is Tom Hanks from Big, and those are a lot of toys in a CEO's office.
That is true. It does look like the office of a kid who is the CEO of a toy company. Yeah.
I didn't see one fax machine. I saw 7 robots.
You just picture him picking up the phone and just being like, 11 cheese pizzas, please.
Yes.
Like,
Well, that's how he was 20 years ago. Now he's like, 4 cheese pizzas. God, I just wanted, my childhood was stolen.
I will say this because we talked about things we wanted from Megan we didn't get. Chucky fucking nails the like one-liners in this scene. Like when he throws that dart and hits that guy's sciatic nerve, as you said, Paige, he goes, bullseye. And I was like, fuck yeah, Chucky, get it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, my like peak one-liners are like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. Like that's what I want, where it's just like chill out. Or I guess that's Batman, but like you get it.
Freeze! You know that famous line from Predator?
Pleased to meet you. My college roommate and I used to watch that Batman a lot because we found it really, really funny. Ice to meet you.
Fuck, ice to meet you.
Fucking stupid. Can we do that on a show? No, it doesn't fit anywhere.
When we finally start, can I get you P words a movie?
Yeah. Anyway, so he, after strangling the CEO with a yo-yo.
Which, guys, he's a 3-pound doll.
Yes.
Like, the CEO could have just stood up and pulled him off of him. Oh, I guess he was paralyzed from the dart.
Paralyzed.
So I guess it makes sense.
I'm starting to think that if he's got blood and muscle, like he could just be really strong, small doll.
Here's my question.
Can he get a vampire pregnant? We were all thinking
Todd,
Wait,
we were all
Was
thinking
that really
it.
what you were going to say?
I believe that this question of Chucky and sexual abilities is answered in the
It is
in the
answered
sequels.
in the sequels.
Oh, shit. He does get married, right? Because he has a bride.
Yeah, he does.
I believe he has a son later on too.
What?
And a son, yeah. I was actually upset that to realize that this one did not have Jennifer Tilly in it, our patron saint of the big titted. But like, I'm excited for the next one. Anyway, so he strangles him with a yo-yo.
Yeah.
And then goes through the computer on his desk to find Andy's information from, I would assume, the multiple lawsuits.
I mean, yes, and legal battles he's had to fight because he is the presumed murderer of at least everyone in that Foster family. Like when she's looking through the file to learn more about him instead of just asking him, like a person would. But like she was like looking through he's been in the foster system. That must have said like may have killed mother, father, sister, like or whatever.
Hot.
That's how she reacts though, Mikey.
That is how she reacts.
Everybody likes a bad boy.
I mean, hey, everybody does like a bad boy. But if he sued the company successfully, which they say that he did, and they've paid him off,
He'd be rich.
well, but they would keep it in trust until he was an adult. So he definitely doesn't have the money now.
But some of that money may be paying his tuition at the military academy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's probably going to his mom's treatment.
That and paying his tuition at the military academy. But that means, in a way, they've kind of admitted fault. Like, not publicly, but like...
Okay.
Well,
You know?
settlement does not mean legally you admit fault. It just
Well,
means you don't want
but-
to take it to trial.
I do
Right.
think the police would stop looking at him for the murders if he got a payout for the company. I don't know that for a fact, though, but
Well, he was a juvenile back then, so he probably would have never...
He's a juvenile now.
That's
Yeah.
true. So none of that stuff would have been like publicized or public because it's all more protected than adult criminal justice.
it would have been much better if this whole movie took place in juvie.
Oh my God. Well, then it's just the Alien 3 of the Chucky series.
I think Chucky 3 being in juvenile would be way better than Alien 3.
The one where Chucky lands on a penal colony.
I was just impressed Chucky learned how to use a computer that didn't exist when he was melted down so quickly.
He's like going through their emails. That's where he finds out where Andy is. I was like, in 91, really? Chucky knows how to use email?
Exactly.
He's been a doll since way before the internet was a thing for
Yeah.
like consumers.
They probably had to pay out the security guard's family and the janitor's family from the factory, all of that stuff who died
For sure.
at the end. Yeah.
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 Of like, it was a corporate accident. So they know, like, they probably like it was a machine malfunction. So they paid out the families on that.
Yeah.
And they internally were like, well, the kid said it was a murderous doll. That it's obviously a malfunctioning machine. Or they went in and messed with the machine because there's a big molted goobly glop of dolls everywhere. and it killed the security guards.
You know, the legal term, goobly glop.
Yeah. Look it up on Urban Dictionary. It's a thing.
There's a deep dive in the legal history of child's play.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut to, it reveals that he's at Kent Military School. We cut to
Yeah.
the military school, and the head guy, the colonel.
Commandant? Colonel's one of the kids, right? Or is it?
So there's multiple colonels. I don't know military ranks, because at one point he was like, "You're in major trouble," and I was like, "That's lieutenant trouble to you." And I was like, I don't even know if that joke works.
It does. The colonel is Colonel Cochran, who runs the place.
Okay, so that's the colonel.
Yes.
The lieutenant colonel is the kid, the biggest kid, the District 2. He's volunteering as tribute later on in his career.
Right.
I thought he was Sergeant something.
No, there's two bullies. They both look the same.
They do,
One's
yeah.
the lieutenant and one's the sergeant.
Anyway, he's in the colonel's office, and the colonel's just like, "So you've been in like a bunch of foster homes. Why is that?" And I'm like, "Because the system's broken.
I have no parents.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I never felt comfortable." And he's like, "Look, I'm gonna cut you slack because you've had it rough, but you're a troublemaker." I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, you got to forget the fantasies of killer dolls. I was like, that's nobody's fantasy.
Let's not say it's no one's fantasy. I'm sure
Yeah, I mean, that's
there is
fair.
a subset of people out there.
Oh, I'm sure there's people who want to fuck Chucky and make vampire babies. I get it.
Gotta be, yeah.
Well, and then the Colonel quotes 1 Corinthians.
Love is blind.
Love is patient, love is
Love is
blind.
kind.
11 herbs and spices. I'm the Colonel.
I do love when you guys start talking about like religious things. I'll commonly just be quiet, and then you guys just like trash them. It's funny to me because I don't want to be the atheist making fun of it, but you guys just go to it. It's great.
You gotta be able to laugh at yourself sometimes.
Absolutely.
No, 1 Corinthians of the books, stellar one. That's why it gets quoted so much. And it's a quote about like, hey, when I was a kid, I did childish things, but as an adult, I put away those things and became an adult. So too, your faith should mature as you continue to learn. Great.
Yeah.
Cool. No notes.
I was watching this with Natalie, and as the Colonel started saying that line, I said the last half of it with him because I know the quote.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Natalie goes, "Who said that?" And I went, "God?" And then he answered it, and she started laughing because I couldn't remember where it was in the Bible. I just knew it was in the Bible.
It's Peter. No, it might be Paul's letter to the Corinthians, I believe.
He wrote the Corinthians every day.
For a year, Paige!
For a year! It's not over. It's never been over, Corinthians.
This is just one of the 12 disciples standing in front of a people telling them to worship God.
It's not. Paul was not a disciple. He's a bandwagoner. Sorry. That's a terrible thing to say, but he is the dude that joins after it's already popular.
He's like, I remember that. I was totally all right, almost there.
Yeah. I definitely wasn't a guy persecuting you guys that then changed his mind.
When it was safer.
It was not really safer, but, whatever.
Well, it's olden times. It's never safe. You could die of like splinters back then.
Oh my God, rats were doing kung fu in Jerusalem?
Yeah. It's fucking deadly, dude.
I don't know if you know this. The murderer that was pardoned by Pontius Pilate was a rat that knew kung fu. Yeah.
Barabbas.
Guys, it's all right there in front of you.
Follow the money. Anyway, so he then says, the Colonel goes on to say, we turn bedwetters into men. And I was like, or murderers? It's like, because bedwetting.
I mean, those two terms are not mutually exclusive. So, like, you could definitely be both.
Paige, with that attitude, we'll never win the Hunger Games. This is why you are not in charge of District 2's education policy.
Let's be real. I'm definitely more of a capital art type. with like crazy
big floaty
hair, tits akimbo. Like, that's definitely where I'm at. Where they're like, yo, do you want the plastic surgery to make you part animal? Fuck yes, I do. Which animal are we going to choose?
I'm feline fine. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to be part cat.
I bet on District 9 this year because I'm very into eating fish or whatever.
Whatever it is.
That's actually Mikey's pickup line.
I'm just going to get the cat surgery so I can have even more boobs. Just maximizing the best assets.
Fully support this decision.
Who are you in the Hunger Games? An Instagram influencer in the Capitol. Anyway, so they're all getting haircuts. Tyler goes first, and Tyler's way too young to be at this military school. He's like 7. He's like a teeny tiny little child.
Tyler murdered 3 people
No, they make it sound like his dad, who is like
in the military.
in the military, he
Yes.
flies jets or whatever. Like,
Yes.
this is where his dad sent him to, like,
Learn to be a...
to school, really.
I think his dad is a single parent.
I think his dad doesn't exist and they made it up and he's been raised there as a baby.
Maybe.
Oh, wow. That's why his dad never writes. He checks every day, and he's never gotten a letter from his dad. But that post general or whatever that's there is just gaslighting him every time.
If y'all don't get on the same page with me on how to create excellent fighters for the Hunger Games and using psychological manipulation to do it, we're never going to win the bets.
I don't believe the Hunger Games are ethical, and so I do not want to participate in their proliferation, Michael.
Wow. It's called patriotism, okay?
You know what? Overrated.
I'm just saying, child soldiers usually don't end well. As Tyler will find out when we send him to the Hunger Games in 13 years.
Good Lord. Anyway, so Andy's up next. And this dude, like, he's doing the whole, like, Romans invented the military cut, so people couldn't hold it in battle, but also lice.
Well, he says the reason they cut their hair was because they didn't want to have people be able to grab their hair and then slit their throat, which foreshadows the way he gets killed.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. But also he's like,
oh yeah. This dude's a perv creepy face that Mikey is going to defend right now.
yeah, so creepy.
Just passionate about his job.
Nope.
If you don't go to a salon and they have pictures of all the people who've been super happy with their haircuts, you're not at the right place.
They don't. That's not a thing typically when I go to the salon. Although I did one time have a guy cut my hair and then he got a full-on boner that I could feel against my shoulder as he was cutting my hair.
Do you think it was 'cause your hair though, Paige? It seems to...
I do have great hair.
You do? Okay, that's fair. But like, I assumed it was other things he was enjoying.
I don't know. He kept being like, your hair is beautiful. And I was like, okay. Thanks, creepo.
I didn't realize you got your hair cut at Hunger Games Academy.
If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I think maybe that was it a little bit.
So now modern day, they don't tape the pictures against the wall. They just have an Instagram account.
Yeah.
That's true. But nobody's on the Instagram. Like, they're not posting reels of them like, oh, look at that balayage. Like,
Oh
that's
my
not how
God,
that
though,
happens.
if they were, they would be so famous. I do think it's wild that he shaves Tyler's head and then just cuts the other kid's hair.
Yeah, I couldn't understand why he wasn't just shaving everyone's head V for Vendetta style.
Right?
He's like, no. You would look good with longer on top. Because he's really passionate about what he's doing.
I don't think that's why. The reason I was confused by that was because they explained why he shaves heads the way he shaves heads is so you can't grab the hair and slit the throat, right? But you could totally grab Andy's hair and slit his throat with how long his hair is after his haircut.
I'm going to throw something else out there. Look how pretty
Ari Gold's wife is in this movie. Yeah.
Her hair is gorgeous. And he looks at it and has a moment of pride about it in the cafeteria.
He's mad about it. He glares at her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure. I think you're supposed to, if you have longer hair, keep it pulled back. Like in a bun. The fact that she has it just like down and around the whole time, I was like, I don't think that's all right. And then her friend has like gorgeous, luxurious ginger curls that are like, they're out on patrol and they're just like voluminous out of her hat. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that isn't how that
That's
works.
not like regulation or whatever. Yeah. Like,
No.
I do love that the dress code is like every boy has to have a shaved head or a high and tight. The ladies, y'all just do what y'all do, baby. Like that's their dress code for their hair.
It's definitely like we were forced to admit female students.
Oh.
So we don't really know what to do with all that.
Yeah, because of Title IX, you guys have to be here. So just deal with the hair. I don't know. Like we don't really care what you do with it.
I worried for the safety of those girls.
I'm glad the movie did not go that direction.
Anyway, while he's cutting their hair, the good guy commercial comes on, and Andy has just like a level flashback.
It's funny though, because Tyler is like, oh, wow. Like he's like, he says that. He's like so into this fucking commercial, man. It's so great.
Wow. And then you look at Andy and he's just got like palm trees and helicopters. Anyway, he goes to his dorm with his new haircut and he hears something in the closet. And we already know that Chucky's trying to make his way to him. So we're like, oh my God, did Chucky beat him there somehow? No, it is his poor roommate, Whitehurst, who is being tortured relentlessly at this school.
By another student who apparently has literally all the power.
Carte blanche to just torture people. And he literally, like, he falls out, he unties him, and he just goes, welcome to hell, Barkley. And I'm just like, good Lord, close all of these schools.
That kid does wear glasses, so he's kind of asking for it.
Oh my God.
By wanting to see?
That is definitely like a bully bot 2.0 line. Like that's what I just heard right there. Yeah.
No, for serious, that would be a very huge problem.
Yeah. So we cut to the next day when they're standing for inspection and they're, looking at all their shiny shoes that they're then just wearing out in the rain. The shiny shoes thing, I don't understand. I know most military things are meant to build routine and force you to work as a unit. I understand that. For me as a person who would not thrive in this kind of environment.
No.
I see many of these things as bullshit.
I mean, all of it is. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny to me that you would shine shoes that they are then going to go do war games with, because that would only make them
Yes.
stand out so much more in the jungle or in the woods, wherever they are in this, right outside the carnival.
Right.
It would pick up the glint off of the
carnival
merry-go-round or
lights.
whatever. Yeah, exactly.
See, what you don't know is the carnival is actually a metaphor for the Vietnam War.
But the routine and stuff they build in boot camp and the bullying
Yes.
is largely so you will just take whatever order you're given, and it's sort of like
They
a mind
are brainwashing techniques.
Yeah.
Like they
But
100%.
by design, yeah.
Yeah, it is voluntary cult, if you want to think about it.
Yeah, sort
because,
of.
Spoiler, a lot of cults do the same shit.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
like that cult you and I talked about on Cult Podcast shortly before or after April 1st.
Oh, the one that was almost like Fight Club.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking knew it was Fight Club the whole time.
Did you?
I was like 80% sure. I was like, this has got to be just Fight Club, right?
Almost exactly like Fight Club.
Never going to be on Cult Podcast around April 1st again.
Well, Blaine made the same mistake immediately the next year, which I think is my favorite.
Blaine can make those kind of mistakes. He's more handsome than me. I got to lock it up, man.
Anyway, so they're going through inspection, looking at the shoes, that's sir to you, motherfucker, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he's just being like a drill sergeant, boot camp sort of douchebaggery guy. Although
Right.
he is a student, he isn't a drill sergeant. But that's like the role he is taking on.
But that's my thing is he is a student. I would be the way that she fights him and is just like, oh yeah, I'll happily do push-ups to call you an asshole. That'd be me. I'd be like, I will never stop calling you an asshole.
And also, you're another student. Fuck you.
You
Class
brown-nosing,
traitor.
boot-licking
Eat a
asshole.
dick.
Yeah.
It's because they modeled it after boot camps
Yes.
where they will make a student team lead or whatever
Yeah.
to give orders.
But he has real drill sergeant energy, not platoon leader energy, drill sergeant energy. More Sobel, not winners. Does that make sense, Mikey?
Mhm.
Anyway, so he's really picking on Barclay and Whitehurst.
Yeah.
And so De Silva calls him an asshole to basically get him to stop. And he makes her do 25 push-ups. And then as she gets to 23 or 24, he says one-handed. And she just puts an arm behind her back and does them one-handed. And I was just like, she's the fucking best.
Yeah, the presidential fitness test is really challenging.
Yeah, man, it got so much harder that year, man. They beefed it up.
Yeah, last year was just sit and reach, and now it's one-handed push-ups. So hard. Anyway, we cut to Tyler walking to check the mail. And again, such a tiny child. But this is where we find out that his dad is flying jets or doesn't exist.
No, his dad's totally flying jets, Paige. Shut up, he's right here.
Yeah, he's flying jets all the way to that farm where he'll get to run as much as he wants.
You remember the movie from 6 years ago, Top Gun? He was in that movie. He was
but new Top Gun was better than it should have been.
No,
not
not
the new one. The one that came out in 85, because that was 6 years before this movie came out. So that would be that's your actual dad. He was in that movie.
Oh no.
He's just busy. I guess in 91, what was it? The Gulf War? Is that what was going on?
He's busy playing volleyball. Playing with the boys.
His dad does not exist.
Yeah, Mikey, we get it. That's why I was saying he was the guy from Top Gun.
Tyler was a baby with extraordinary abilities, dropped off on this school for gifted youngsters. What you don't know is that he can create ice whenever he wants.
His parents are dead Batman style.
Yeah.
And that's why Tyler can be the most annoying kid in the school, full of bullies, and everybody's nice to him because he's like, oh, that's Tyler. We just leave him alone because of such bad things happened to his dad.
Yeah.
Sucked in one jet engine, came out all shredded up,
And then it happened a second time, which is why you need the subsequent coding.
In my mind, I'm just picturing his dad was Sundown from Top Gun. That's what I was thinking.
The scene that cut out is the colonel writing a note to Tyler as his dad of thinking of you. I don't know if I'll be home by Christmas. Love you. You're doing great at school.
And then just putting a tiny bag of Southwest peanuts in the envelope.
And sand, because he's in the Gulf or whatever.
Yeah, from the plane.
Yeah.
The colonel says math's your favorite subject. Keep it up so you can fly planes too. And the colonel's crying. And it's like...
I honestly sort of love this story about the kindest postmaster colonel ever.
Oh, the kid has a doll. Just let him have it. Just let him fucking have it.
Maybe that'll take his mind off the fact that his dad is dead and I haven't thought of anything for a new letter recently. Anyway.
Oh my God.
He hands him a giant package that is literally his size because he's such a small child.
I think it's bigger than him. Like, it might be a taller package than he is.
Well, and they're like, can you give this to Barkley? And as he carries it down the hallway, it gets kicked by no less than half a dozen people. Like,
no one is offering to help this child carry a huge box, and they are actively bumping into him.
Right.
Because he gets to do whatever he wants because his dad died by firing squad as a Russian traitor.
And everyone knows, and everyone's just trying to keep it from him. But like, some of the kids hate him because their dads were sold out by his dad to the Russians. You know what I'm saying?
See, aren't you guys having fun inventing backstories?
See, mine is different. See, mine is that his dad was actually really, really great at this one video game. And then people came from the stars to be like, we need you to fight in our actual battle for Alpha Centauri.
And then he ended up just staying in space.
Playing out in space.
Tyler's dad was the BTK killer, and so now he had to go to a special school.
You might need to cut this out.
Oh no.
Tyler continues to grow up, getting letters from his dad. And then we cut to his dad alive, writing one of the letters being like, I know now what I have to do. And he seals the envelope and the camera pulls back. And on the board behind him, it just says September 11th, 2001.
Was he working in the Twin Towers?
Tyler's dad ruined everything.
Anyway, so Tyler's carrying the box down the hallway. It gets kicked a bunch of times. It tears some of the paper off of it, so he sees that it's a good guy. And he's a child-ass child.
Yes.
So he takes it to the armory to go unwrap it and play with it.
I was terrified that a child could get into the armory unsupervised.
100%.
Same.
Well, they let Tyler do everything, you know, because his dad was a child murderer and he has no parents.
I do want to say this. This movie came out in 1991, and BTK's last known murder took place in 1991. I'm not saying that there's a reason he stopped, but that guy needs to probably be under supervision all the time.
Or why don't we send him to an island? Maybe every state sends 2 people.
And they fight it out.
In the middle of the cornucopia.
Fuck
And if they
you.
win, they get another chance.
Does the winner get their freedom, though? Because that's like, I don't want that to happen.
Yes, but not in our country. We just let them pick a place and drop them off.
Okay.
It's called justice.
Welcome back to Justice is Blind. We took 12 sexy murderers to an island offshore where they got to battle it out for 6 weeks.
I was picturing the murderers in a line all saying the country they wanted to go to, but it was just like Miss Universe. It was Albania, Cambodia, Denmark, France.
And you're like, there's no way France is not going to win. Like, she is too passionate and crazy.
France! Tony Hawk! Anyway, Tyler makes it into the armory with nobody, and nobody sees him get into the armory. He has no problem. He plays with Chucky. This is where he learns that Chucky is Charles Lee Ray, and
Yes.
Chucky tries to do the soul switch immediately.
Of course. I mean, because he realizes that, oh, Andy is not this new doll, my new body's like first person I revealed the secret to. It's actually this kid.
Right.
So like, let's just do it right now.
Right. Meanwhile, Andy's at shooting practice with his 30-year-old classmate who is like a sharpshooter. Like, Andy can't even hit the paper, and she's like clustering 3 in the center. It's wild.
No, she's like, let me shoot my shot.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
not throwing away her shot, Mikey.
Oh.
She's in the room where it happens.
Yeah.
But it is not hitting targets.
Well, it is for her because she's good.
For her.
Yeah. So naturally, at the end of the movie, when they have a gun and one of them needs to make a shot, they write it in a way so he has to be the one to do it.
Which is fucked up because I'm like, just let her be a sharpshooter.
I know, right? Let her take care of it.
Anyway, so we cut back to Chucky. He's trying to do the soul thing, the weird chanting in a very upsetting and offensive patois when the colonel interrupts. And he's not at any point like, hey, how did a child get into the armory? He's just like, why do you have a doll?
No, yeah, he's like, of course you'd be in here where all the unlocked guns and shit are, but why did you bring a doll in here, child?
Yeah, I understand why you want to be around bullets. It's your legacy. But, like, why is the doll here?
Well, Tyler's dad is actually Steve Buscemi from Con Air.
Oh, no. I like mine better where his dad is Deadshot. Okay. Or he's like Killmonger's kid. And this is just part of the MCU.
If at the end of this movie, Samuel L. Jackson recruited Tyler to the Avenger Initiative, I'd be here for that.
Yeah.
Tyler, we need someone to get the really hard to reach coal. Because he's a child, Mikey, and that's what you want to use child labor for?
That was from the last episode, and Mikey does not remember it.
Look, it's not my fault that their hands are perfectly suited to getting the coal out of the...
How do you think they harvest coal, Mikey?
by children's hands.
You just did an action like you were picking it off a tree.
I don't care as long as I can turn on the light switch and the power flows.
So many. I can't even fathom the level of stupidity needed to believe that's how that happens.
You just burn the children and then it turns the turbines.
Look, I know what the Romans did, but anyway. So this is where they're like, get rid of that doll. Also, we need to load the paint pellets. I was like, paintball? And
Yeah.
we don't see them yet, but this is where it's first introduced. So we cut to them doing drills with rifles on the yard, and Barkley is bad at it, but also he sees the Colonel carrying the Chucky doll, and he's just like, and like drops his gun.
Yeah.
And they do this weird, like, this is my best friend, this is my gun, and I'm just like, ugh.
This is for fighting, this is for fun? Yeah.
What in the right to bear arms is this? Look, you can well regulate your militia on your own time, buddy. We don't need to do this in front of everybody.
But that quote is actually from, I think it's Full Metal Jacket. I'm like 85% sure it's from that.
It is 100% from Full Metal Jacket.
They're just referencing Full Metal Jacket, I assume. And there's no way this came out before Full Metal Jacket, right?
No. Full Metal Jacket's way earlier.
It's
yeah.
87. I just looked it up. So it was 4 years before this.
Anyway, the Colonel throws Chucky in the dumpster.
I love that because when the Colonel is like dragging Chucky to the dumpster, he's doing it by his hair. This movie sort of really fetishizes hair now that I'm thinking about it.
Super into hair.
Well, if he had his hair cut, he wouldn't have to do that.
But Andy sees him as he's walking through, right? And Andy's like losing his mind, drops his gun that they're like learning how to move from one shoulder to the other.
Yeah, but as the dumpster gets loaded into the garbage truck, I do love that we just get Chucky like, stop! Shit!
Oh,
as he like falls.
The shit as he's passing the camera because it's like this. Shit! It's so fucking funny. I loved it so much.
The garbage truck starts to drive away and he yells from the back, and the guy driving is like, oh no, there's somebody in the back.
Yeah, it sounds like a kid's in the back. I mean, he's just doing his job.
Right, so he climbs in. Chucky gets up. And Chucky has already somehow climbed out and is fully going to kill this dude. Now, I don't know a ton about garbage trucks.
That doesn't shock me. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Do they
I don't think
grind?
they have a. I don't think they have.
They don't
do
have
not
a trash
have a grinder.
compactor in the back, right?
I think they just have a press, not a.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at least the ones I've seen just have the press that comes in from the
you
back.
Smush
right?
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
that
you
makes
gotta think
sense to me.
practically, because if it's spinning, you could get stuff caught there. The grills, then it could get jammed up. You don't want that.
No.
But if it's just a hydraulic compressor.
But this is very much like a Star Wars-esque trash compactor, but inside a garbage vehicle.
Yeah, but it not only has a compactor, it's got that just like wheel of spikes. And I was like, I don't think this is real. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I doubt there's a wheel of spikes in every garbage truck. But garbage men out there, if you have a spinning wheel of spikes in your truck, let us know.
If you have a wheel of trash death, tell us. Anyway, the trash man gets stuck back there and gets all compacted and his arm breaks off. Everyone hears the screams. They run to the truck. They see the blood leaking out.
I think you mean red paint leaking out, but yeah.
Definitely red paint. But this gives Chucky a chance to escape. So we cut to the dorms later, and Whitehurst is polishing Shelton's shoes and spits in them, which I do love.
Yes.
That is great.
Which of course you would do, because fuck that guy.
Yep. But he goes to take a shower, and Andy is unpacking. We see that Chucky's in the trunk, and then he's about to pop out when Whitehurst comes back in and is like, hey, did you get that package? No? Weird. And then leaves.
Yeah.
Andy's looking at a picture of his mom when Chucky is under the bed and slices his Achilles heel, which like he never gets any medical attention for that. You wouldn't be able to like walk. It's one of the kills in Hostel, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, like that would disable you at the very least. You wouldn't be able to walk on that foot. Absolutely.
I think he missed because there was no blood on the knife.
Yeah, in my mind, it like didn't break the skin. Like it was close, or maybe like cut his sock or something. But like, yeah, because he is running around the rest of this movie, Paige. You're right. Like if he actually cut his Achilles, he'd be out.
Yeah. But so he and Chucky fight, and he ends up like bashing him against the floor until Shelton walks in and sees it happening and is like, what the fuck? Give me that doll. You're now my favorite person to bully.
Yeah.
Bye. Anyway, we cut to later that night, and he's got the knife. He's sneaking into Shelton's room. He's trying to find Chucky.
Yeah.
And he's looking in the closet. No. Then he notices there's a missing Bowie knife from a wall display of weapons in the room.
It's like he walked into Rambo's garage, but instead of like having like power tools that you do like woodwork or some shit, it's just like knives, and he had just taken one off the wall.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like if he had walked into our bedroom and was like drill, angle grinder.
I like that part in the Megan
I
episode.
heard.
Paige. Yeah, well, it was so funny. I had to leave it in. Yeah.
So there's a Bowie knife missing. And so as he's looking, Chucky's on the other side of the bed. So he ends up jumping over sleeping Shelton to try and get to Chucky.
Yeah.
And Shelton is just like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? Where's the doll? Because Chucky is somehow teleported out of the room conveniently.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we're just supposed to expect that he ran out of the room, right? Like,
I guess. Yeah. And Shelton gets everyone up basically until somebody admits who has the doll. And he's basically torturing them outside in the rain, making them run laps and whatever for some code of honor bullshit.
When you say run laps, they're just running in a circle. Like, they're not running laps around anything except themselves. And they bully Andy because they're like, this is all your fault, Andy.
Yeah, I'd be fucking pissed.
I feel bad for him. It happens to him every movie.
Every time. Yeah. Every movie.
Everyone dies around him. We have a right to be suspicious.
I think you have a right to be suspicious, but not push him down into a puddle, Bullybot 2.0.
Yeah, Bullybot.
I would have pushed him down in that puddle.
I mean, I think you would have if you were today years old, let alone if you were his age. Like, I can't imagine how far you would go if you were like 17, Mikey.
I think an argument could be made that less people would have died if we just would have gave Chucky Andy's body.
No, I would completely disagree.
So my concern is that murderers over time get better, and they get better at concealing their like clues that they would leave behind. So if they caught him right away after his first murder, absolutely yes, but he also might get like 100, 150 people down before we catch him next time.
Serial killers get worse. They spiral. They lose control.
Yeah, because they're unable to control the impulse. But I feel like in Andy's body, because Andy doesn't necessarily have a record.
Yeah.
If we just initially gave him Andy's body, didn't have a record, I think it would take him a lot longer to catch him, especially as a kid, because they would suspect him less. Yeah, so I think a lot more people die if we give him Andy's body.
It's a good argument. It's good. It's a good back and forth. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, what do you guys think, chat?
Anyway. So while that's happening, Chucky goes to try and find Tyler, and Tyler has left him a note that's like, you're it, come find me. So they're playing like hide and seek, and they end up in the Colonel's office. And
oh man, I love this part so much. I think this might be my favorite Chucky death.
Really?
Well, that's in a little bit. It's a couple scenes from now.
Yeah. You're right. It takes place in the same office though. Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, Barkley breaks formation to go and look for Tyler, and I'm like, there's like 6 kids running in a circle. They're gonna notice like that he just runs off. And of course, Shelton immediately sees him and punches him. Meanwhile,
he punches him back, Paige.
He does.
He does fight back.
He does fight back. Meanwhile, the doll, Chucky and Tyler are in the Colonel's office, And who should come upon them but the 2 girls that go to this school?
Yeah.
And they're looking for Andy's file to see like how he ended up there.
Yeah, because it's much easier to do that than to have a conversation.
I do love that they take this approach. They're like, you know what's more easy than actually just talking to him? Let's break into this office and look into his file.
Right.
Oh, he murdered his foster family? Nice.
Killer doll? Nice. But they basically find Tyler and they're like, oh, you took the doll. Everyone's going to be pissed because, like, they're running outside.
Yeah.
But they put lipstick on him and they're kind of messing with Chucky, but he's still just pretending to be a doll until the Colonel comes in and kind of scatters them and finds the doll, goes to throw it in the trash, and it's immediately up again. And he basically is like, what the fuck? Because Chucky is there with a knife, full on alive doll.
Yeah.
And the Colonel has a heart attack and crashes through Chekhov's war diorama.
It's so great. I love that Chucky's like, wait, what? What is happening? Like, he's like, I was going to kill you. I didn't realize that like Father Time was going to beat me to it.
Right.
But it does.
Yeah.
Those cheeseburgers finally caught up with them.
I mean, or just badly placed dioramas. Just caught up with.
I mean, he clearly has a heart attack, Paige. Like
He does. I think it's just the fear of a Chucky doll.
I mean, it definitely was. Yeah.
Yeah. Cheeseburgers or not, that's enough to make anyone shit themselves to death. Like, it's bad.
That'll make anyone have a fart attack for sure, at least.
Yeah. Anyway, he's dead. So they like load his body bag past Shelton, who's just like 2 tours and numb, and one night he just drops dead. And I'm just like, man, if he did 2 tours and numb, a doll should not be that scary.
I know.
Anyway, the next morning, they have a moment of silence at breakfast, and then Andy tries to catch up with Tyler at breakfast, but they trip him on the way.
Yeah.
But this is when the pedophilic Barber is just like, I want to see you Friday, Monday, Fabrizio, my man, Tuesday, Wednesday, right after breakfast. He's just like shouting dates at people.
He's literally yelling his schedule at people. Yeah.
Yes. For as creepy as he is, this scene makes me laugh so hard because it's so strange.
It does feel like they were like, hey, why don't you just improv all your dialogue? And he was like, I've never done that before. And they were like, perfect.
Anyway, Andy's talking to Tyler and he's like, look, Chucky is a bad person and I think he's killing people and I think he killed Colonel Cochran. So like, please keep this knife if you're not going to stay away from him.
Yeah. Because Tyler still thinks that Chucky's like a good guy.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's like the branding of the doll. They're the good guy dolls. And I mean, Chucky's just lying to him, you know?
We cut to the barber shop.
Well, so you guys got to understand, this isn't just a military academy. This is the
Vidal Sassoon. Is that what you were trying to say?
the salon
The Tony
academy.
and Guy Hair Salon Academy.
Vidal Sassoon. How do you say it?
Vidal Sassoon.
Vidal Sassoon.
It's on that Paul Mitchell school tip.
I've been Googling that since y'all were trying to talk about it because I didn't know the word and I still couldn't figure it out. But I know all of the most famous hair salons around me. Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google.
Mikey was like, oh, I guess we do have more than just like a Supercuts.
What is this? Great Clips?
Great Clips Academy.
Anyway, Whitehurst is getting his hair cut.
Yeah.
Presto, you're bald. Whitehurst leaves, and we see him trim his nose hairs, the barber trim his nose hairs. I thought for sure Chucky was going to come up and just shove those scissors up into his brain.
That would have been hilarious.
I was kind of mad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
That'd have been great.
But as he's kind of putting his stuff away, Chucky's in the cabinet, and he's like, how'd you get in here? And then he feels his doll hair, and he's like, that haircut ain't regulation, soldier. When's the last time you had it trimmed?
This dude is getting off on haircuts. Like, there's no way he's not, Mikey.
He's just excited about it. He is Vidal Sassoon.
No, sexually excited.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying Fidel Sassoon. like
it's from Cuba?
like it's some sort of authoritarian hair dictator.
My backstory for this character is that this guy lost all of his sexual organs in the war. So his only purpose in life now is to cut hair. And he is passionate.
No.
He's a G.I. Joe down there.
You mean he doesn't have a cobra? Oh, toy jokes. Anyway, so Fidel Sassoon puts Chucky in the chair.
He's as smooth as a Ninja Turtle's head.
And he's about to get Chucky started with the trimmers when Chucky pulls up a straight razor, pulls his hair back and slits his throat and says, presto, you're dead.
Which he's doing Jamaican appropriation. Now he's going to do Italian. Come on, Chucky. Pick a lane.
Yep.
He's clearly Irish, right? He's got red hair and freckles.
Chucky, well, his doll body does. Chucky's not very good at respecting
I guess I am
other
asking
cultures.
too much of this murderer to not also be a little racist. Okay.
I like that you're like, the murder, fine, but racist? I mean, don't get me wrong. Also bad, but I feel like we should address the murder, maybe.
Cut this out. Like, I don't know if he's racist or just like terrible. Because he seems stoked to be a quote unquote bro.
Mikey, he's going to try and get out this child. So yes, it's racist.
But the whole thing takes place in New Orleans.
I don't care. He's going to try and send Tyler to the sunken place. Yes, it's racist. He's trying to get out a child.
I thought he was trying to get in.
It can be both of those things in this situation, yes.
I think Tyler's would not be in a sunken place. I think he would be dead.
That's not
His
great
soul-
either.
His soul would
That's
be
not
gone.
preferable.
So, yeah, not great.
Either way, it's not good.
But it could be a mercy since he's still just waiting for a letter from his dead dad.
Mikey, that's something that Tyler and I have in common.
No, see, this is just Chucky targeting a vulnerable child.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no one's going to look for him, and that's why. And you're like, no,
Of course.
Chucky, no. Anyway, so he slits that guy's throat. Whitehurst walks in just as it's happening, sees the doll, so he now knows it's real,
Yeah.
and the doll's after Tyler. We cut outside where they've assembled for war games, which is essentially just extreme paintball capture the flag.
Yeah, which honestly sounds sort of dope. When I went and played paintball last, it was capture the flag paintball.
Except you should wear eye protection.
Oh, and we totally did. Yeah, and I wore
Yes, yeah.
layers of clothes because the paintballs will hurt if it's just like a t-shirt.
I've never been paintballing.
It's pretty fun.
It's
Paige.
fun, Paige.
I feel like I would enjoy it.
Yeah.
You wear like a hoodie and like sweatpants and like
Yeah.
you wear like I like jeans and like you
layer
if you
up.
wear a couple of layers you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you feel it, but it doesn't hurt, you know? You're like, oh, you got me shit,
You're
you
like,
know?
like snapping a rubber band.
I got hit in the neck with one, and it hurt bad. Like, it was right above my collarbone. It hurt so bad. Yeah. So I would recommend layering because I had that bruise for like 2 weeks.
But these kids don't wear protective eyewear because it's survival of the fittest and we'll never bring back the cup of the Hunger Games from the cornucopia if we let weak kids go.
Yeah. You're not going to get to live in that mansion unless you get properly trained.
It is like a winner's mansion, but it's so sad because like she and PETA just end up being neighbors who are just like shells of people.
That's District 12. We're over in District 2 training these kids at our military academy. They're stoked about it.
Yeah, they can't wait.
So we reveal that they're going to be using paintball bullets in their rifles.
Yeah.
And we cut to Chucky somehow in the armory replacing all these paintball bullets for the red team with actual bullets. So Whitehurst joins them. He doesn't tell anyone that he's seen Chucky around and alive. And they all proceed on this trip where they're on like a camping trip to then do paintball capture the flag.
Yeah.
And at one point, Andy and we find out her name is Kristen.
You mean the other woman who goes to this school?
One of the two, Kristen. And they kiss in front of a carnival blurrily projected on a screen behind.
Yeah, my favorite kind.
Anyway, we cut back to the campfire immediately, and Chucky is like wandering around the tents trying to find Tyler, and Andy's like, I've got to go find Tyler before Chucky does. So he steals a map from Shelton.
Yeah.
And goes on reconnaissance. He gets to Tyler's tent. He's already gone. So he has to try and track him with Chucky. Meanwhile, the blue team, Andy's team, have already noticed that Andy is gone and the map is gone. So they're now looking for Andy. So in the forest, Chucky tries to get Tyler to play hide the soul again. And when he won't, he pulls out a knife. And at this point, Tyler's like, oh, you are a bad guy.
Yeah, because now he goes from like playing a game to like trying to murder him. And Tyler's the son of a traitor. He's no dummy.
Right.
His father sold nuclear secrets to North Korea.
You know what? The whole time, we've all been joking about his dad being in prison or dead, but really this entire time he's been living like a king in Patagonia.
The only thing he has to worry about is the ROUS's page.
Yeah, never had a valet. You can try if you like. Most likely kill you in the morning. So Tyler stabs Chucky with the knife that Andy gave him.
Yes.
And runs away. And Andy hears him because he yells. So he chases after him and encounters the blue team and is like, Whitehurst, you saw Chucky alive. Like, back me up. And Whitehurst doesn't say anything. But now that they have Tyler and Andy, they call in De Silva, who's Kristen, and one of the other recruits to have them come back because they were scouting. And De Silva doesn't reply until Chucky replies on her radio, basically saying that he's got her prisoner. So they come to find her. They basically come to the place where he says he's holding her. But he also calls the red team and is like, hey, the blue team's all going to be here. Come to this spot.
Yeah.
So now both teams are there and they're in basically a standoff where Chucky has a full-on grenade.
A real life grenade, not like a paintball grenade, right? And honestly, the blue team has paintball bullets. It's only the red team that has real bullets, right? Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing. I don't know where he got the grenade. I don't know if it was from the old Jeep or if De Silva walks around holding a grenade. I don't know, but
I love that view of it, where it's De Silva just always has a grenade in his pocket.
A grenade.
Yeah.
Or all of them always have grenades.
Is that a grenade in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh, you'd hate to see a blow.
So the blue team fires, and they've got paintballs.
Yeah, so everyone's fine.
Everyone's fine. Where the hell is everybody? But then the red team shows up, and they start firing, and it's live rounds.
Yeah.
So Shelton goes down.
Oh,
like,
he gets shot through the
dead.
chest. Like, yeah, that dude's dead.
Yeah. Super dead.
It's great.
And the red team, to their credit, quickly is like, oh shit, these are live bullets. Like, fucking stop. Like, oh my God.
They're like, oh no.
Oh no.
We're so ready for the games.
We can't wait. We're so glad we killed Shelton.
Yeah.
They're so jazzed about it.
So Chucky uses this like melee to try and escape because Tyler has crawled away and Andy is trying to follow them. So Chucky tosses the grenade. Whitehurst dives on it and dies because it's a real grenade. It just like...
Yes.
The worst part is that the other students were pretty far away from the grenade.
Yes.
They could have rolled out and been fine, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably would have been fine.
I do love the thought that he was just like, I mean, it's just like a paint grenade, so I'm just going to jump on it so not everyone's clothes get wet and like gross, and then it fully kills him.
It really was a mercy because he wears glasses.
No, Mikey.
Wow.
I hope your eyesight gets terrible as you get older. And you have to wear glasses.
It is crazy that that's like the only thing like negative about him is that he wears glasses. So of course he's the nerd or whatever. I don't know. It's silly. But that's like an 80s, 90s thing.
I also think there's some thinly veiled anti-Semitism
Yes.
as well.
Oh,
not thinly.
Yeah,
I think
it's not thinly at all.
Pretty obvious. Yeah. Anyway, they're calling for a medic. Everyone's in chaos. Kristen and Andy take off after Tyler and Chucky. And they end up at the carnival.
Because of course they do.
We get security guy yelling at boombox guy. And then we cut to the security tent because that's where Tyler goes. That's the first place he's like, I need help. I'll find a grown up. And the security guy's like, I'm pretty sure your friend doesn't want to hurt you. And he's like, yes, he does. He wants to hurt me. And he's like, well, this will cheer you up. Look what I found. A good guy doll. And it's fully Chucky.
I have to be honest with you. At this point in the movie, I had fully lost it because the movie's just like way over the top weird. And when he brings Chucky in, Natalie and I both went like, whoa! Because like I was not expecting that at all. That Chucky teleported to the security tent? No. How did he get there before everybody?
That Chucky beat him there?
Yeah,
somehow.
how? It was an amazing reveal that was truly impossible.
Just put them in the same drawer as all the unsecured firearms we found here at the circus.
I'm sorry, Mikey.
drawer full
That
of
drawer
guns.
only has things in it that start with the letter G. Gum and guns, motherfucker.
Also, conveniently, a small enough gun for Chucky to hold.
Yes.
And then Chucky leaves the other gun on his holster because
Because a soccer mom snuck in her purse pistol and it had to be taken by security, and that's why it's just in that top drawer. Because that guy's
Yeah.
like, I'm not allowed to walk around with a firearm either, so I'm going to put it in here.
yeah, she was just following the rules because
Yeah.
she knows that they aren't going to pat her down so that she can hand it through the back entrance of the club.
That's how they do it.
That's how you do it. Anyway, Kristen and Andy get there. They go to the security tent, and that security guard is dead ass dead, and
Yeah.
the drawer gun is missing. So they take his waist gun from his holster and try to follow Chucky and Andy, who, of course, immediately duck into a haunted house, which
They duck into the haunted aggro crag.
the haunted aggro crag, but from the outside, it looks like it's roughly the size of a trailer. And then
Oh,
inside,
no,
it's like
yeah.
bigger than Space Mountain.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It was giving me Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 vibes.
Yeah, because it's like on the outside, it's like the back of a like 18-wheeler truck.
Right.
And then when you walk inside, it's a fucking airplane hangar. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So they end up in the little graveyard portion of the haunted house thing. And Tyler kind of runs away and hides in this little like gated portion, but Chucky just comes around and catches him around the backside of it.
Yeah.
He knocks him onto the tracks a couple times, which is how we find out that like the tracks are hollow, so you can kind of like duck down on the tracks and the cars will ride over you.
Yeah.
But in the graveyard, she takes a shot at Chucky and he actually shoots her leg before she can get a shot off.
Yeah, that's how they get the gun out of her hands and into Andy's hands so that he can take the final shot. Although I get that they were trying to like say that her teaching him how to shot is what saved the day. I get that, but like, why not just let her do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just let her do it.
So I guess military school is good?
That is not at all what I'm trying to say.
I mean, you heard it here, folks. Todd said teaching children to shoot is what really will save other children at the end.
I meant narratively, Mikey.
What stops a good guy with a gun is another good guy with a gun.
Because it's Chucky and he's a good guy.
Oh my God. I hate everything about this.
Anyway, now Andy's got to try and shoot Chucky, but he's a full-on stormtrooper, so he can't hit shit. So Chucky runs further into the ride, and at this point I'm like, how big is this fucking ride?
This looks like the most fun ride
I wanna
I've
ride it
ever
so
seen.
bad.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I miss amusement parks.
And there's like a giant Grim Reaper with a blade that's actually sharp.
Dude,
Yes.
when that Grim Reaper cut off Chucky's face, I was like, why the fuck is that so sharp?
Because it's a circus.
That's so dangerous.
Look, what do you expect from a ride that looks like a double wide trailer from the outside, but is legitimately 4 football fields inside? I love this Dyson Sphere haunted house ride. It's amazing.
It's basically the Hell TARDIS. It's what this is.
Just like the real one. Doctor Who sucks. I'm bringing it back.
Oh God, no, Mikey, no.
Stop it.
No.
Stop being mean to Doctor Who fans and Australia.
But Mikey, what if we changed it from Doctor Who to Doctor Whoville? I'm back on board.
The Grinch is in the TARDIS.
Yeah, it's the Grinch in the TARDIS trying to solve Who crimes throughout history. Whostory. Shit. I was right there.
He goes back to try to stop Cindy Lou Who Jesus from being.
Did you say Cindy Lou Who Jesus from being? What the fuck kind of word salad are you spewing out into the ether?
The Grinch tries to go back in time to stop the birth of Who Christ so Christmas never happens.
I wouldn't touch this pitch with a 39 and a half foot pole.
I kept trying to say Who Jesus Christ. Couldn't get it out.
You're like, what child is this? No, who child is this?
I just love Doctor Who, like Doctor Whoville going back in time to save Jesus so that Christmas can happen later on. But all of that being narrated by like a Dr. Seuss type voiceover, that to me would be very funny. Oh dear, what do we have here? It's the doctor, my dears, never fear. Something like that.
Could you in a manger?
It's an adventure the doctor must go to a time long ago that we all know, when a king named Herod was oh so mean and a baby named Jesus was yet to be seen.
If I stop the Who Christ, there will be no Who crosses, and there will be no Who crucifixions, and no Who Christmas.
Christ.
With sonic screwdriver in hand, the doctor set out to protect this land.
I can't follow you down this path, Michael.
I like it. I'm on
This
board,
windy,
Mikey.
neon, circular path.
The Who disciples will not get in my way.
Oh my God.
That just reminds me of the most misunderstood character, Biff from Back to the Future Part 2.
Mikey.
Mikey is like always siding with the bully in movies, and that should have been a red flag to me early on.
Anyway, they go into this ride with a giant Grim Reaper, which conveniently slices Chucky's face off. And as Tyler runs away, he climbs on board a fucking bone bat.
He does.
Bone
It's
bat,
amazing.
flying through the ride.
A bone
Maximize
bat.
your bone bat powers, bone bat. It's bone bat.
It was a very exciting experience for Tyler, the first human clone that has no real parents.
So now his dad's not just away in the military. He's not dead. He's not a traitor. He is a clone. He is our first human clone.
Who Christ would call him a Who abomination.
No, Mikey, I can't. We gotta stop talking about Who Christ. We just can't fucking do it. I can't. It's too weird.
Oh, you mean Jesus Luhu? Instead of a cross, they have the mountain that the Grinch was on. That's what they wear around their necks.
You know what can move those is the faith of Who mustard seeds.
It's better for a Who camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter
Into
Who
heaven.
Fuck. Literally everything is funnier with Who in front of it.
Dr. Seuss cracked the Who code.
Who Father, throughout in heaven.
Hallowed be Who'd name.
Fuck you. It's not the Grinch's Exorcist.
Holy shit! That's the movie I want!
The thing I hate most about Whoville is the prosperity Who gospel that like has really taken root.
No.
And it's just like these mega Who churches like preaching Who bullshit. Like it sucks.
I just don't like disparaging sexual language against young Who women like she's a Who-ho.
Not a hooer.
She's a hooer. Yeah.
Hooer.
That's what it would be, Mikey. I think they call it a sex worker.
Sex worker.
Worker.
See, this is just as bad as I had a bit I was doing for my sister the last time I was home where I kept singing Midnight Train to Georgia with extra hoot hoots. And I was just like, I'd rather live in his world than live with Hoot him in mine. And it was just so dumb and I wouldn't stop doing it. Oh, God, we got to get back to this movie.
Yeah.
So he rides off on a bone bat to the top of the Skull Aggro Crag.
The Skullo Crag!
The Skullo Crag! Do you have it? Skulls!
Oh, this episode's gone. We've lost it.
We lost it.
I do
It's
love, like,
completely gone.
when you did that page, all I saw was, fuck, whoever
Mike
hosted.
O'Malley running with the flag.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Moira. Yes. Anyway, Andy follows them in there, and he's trying to climb up Skullo Crag, and he notices that there's a giant fan strobe that he can't stand on because it would chop him into bits.
Yeah. But it is like Chekhov's fuck off huge fan with no cover on it. Like,
Exactly.
It's a carnival.
what? A carnival shouldn't have a huge fuck off fan with no cover on it
explains
either, Mikey.
fucking
It's
nothing.
wildly dangerous.
That's like if you had like a vat of acid and you're like, what? It's a proctologist's office.
I'm saying that carnivals are not safe. So they obviously have a sharp blade falling, and they obviously have uncovered razor sharp fans that I think are just to blow paper mache up. It's very
They are.
overkill.
It's just the creepy paper for the fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, up at the top of Skull Aggro Crag, Chucky is trying to assemble the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, but also call the soul down into Tyler.
Well, that's how you do it. And maybe that's the amulet Mikey mentioned that's in the fourth one. Maybe he does assemble
the
the Shrine of the
Agrocrag.
Silver Monkey, and then that's what becomes the amulet.
And then gets it from one of the temple guards
Yeah,
before
it's
he
gotta
has to
be.
climb through that foam thing.
My favorite favorite part of the Chucky franchise is that this ritual to get the soul into a person's body gets longer each film.
Yes.
To
Just
draw
long
out
enough
tension.
for people to climb the aggro crag to get
Yeah,
to
I'm
him.
like, how long does this take?
The length of it is
Yeah.
purely determined by the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Andy, from lower on the Skullgirl crag, aims and shoots and blows and misses first, but then hits Chucky's arm.
Yeah.
Then gets him through the heart, which causes Chucky to fall. So he's like on Tyler's back, and Andy hands him the knife
Yeah.
so that he can stab Chucky. Chucky falls down into the open fan like a trash bag full of cherry jello.
It's so
Yeah.
great. I love it. And I love that they
It's so
keep
good.
showing the explosion of the Chucky as it gets destroyed. They show it like twice. Like it's so funny to me. I also liked when Tyler was like knocked out when Chucky was doing the ritual and Andy gets up there and is like, "Are you okay?" And he's just magically awake and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Like my dad's a traitor. I've been through worse."
Yeah, I miss my dad.
I'm wearing knee pads with Velcro on them, and I'm ready to climb that wall. Like, yeah. Anyway, it lights in like pink, purple, and blue, like the aggro crag.
Yes, that's why I was like, this has heavy aggro crag energy.
Anyway, so they come out to the carnival, and he says goodbye to Kristen, who is being loaded into an ambulance because she's been shot in the leg.
Yeah.
And then they load him into a police car, and he's like, "I've been here before. No worries." And then they drive away as the lights turn down on the Gravitron, and the janitors sweep up the carnival.
And that's the movie.
So having seen the movie and we talked about the movie, what did you guys think about Child's Play 3?
I mean, I heard the term "Who Christ" more than I think I ever wanted to.
Well, you know what? I didn't.
I prefer the next one. I think the next one is more bonkers and more fun. I'm excited to watch the next one.
This is still fun. This is entertaining.
Yeah.
Mikey, I agree. I think that this is, of the 3 that I've seen now, my least favorite, but I still sort of enjoyed it because it is like bonkers crazy, you know? It just feels like they rushed it, Paige. You know, it doesn't feel like they put their time in the actual production of the movie.
Yeah, and that is exactly what happened.
So, yeah. But I honestly dug it. It's sort of fun. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
Yes.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
Aggro
Chucky,
fun
facts.
facts.
Oh, damn. Aggro fun facts is way better. Okay.
So Chucky always loses his right hand right before he dies. In the original,
What?
Andy's mom shoots it off. In Child's Play 2, he tears it off to escape from a bar.
Oh,
And in this
yeah.
movie, Andy gets it with a knife.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, the only Child's Play film where no women die and all the victims are males is this one.
Oh,
Usually,
Nice.
at least one lady bites it.
Yeah, I hear that in Chucky's mind, they're all enemy combatants because they're
Yes.
all males of a certain age.
Oh.
He's like a drone that way. This is commentary on Obama's use of drones.
Very timely.
Well, I mean, we still do it. Obama just started it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the first one to send them into Whoville and take care of fucking business. I'm kidding.
Yo, who drones will fuck you
Where are
up?
your who rights now?
Under pressure from Universal, screenwriter Don Mancini was actually asked to begin writing the third film before the second film came out. So this movie was released only 9 months after the second one.
That is insane. That's
Yes.
so fast. Like, that is nuts.
And Don Mancini has said that this is his least favorite because he felt like he was out of ideas because it was so soon after the second one.
It honestly sort of feels like that, which is sad because Chucky's a dope franchise. And I do feel like of the 3 I've seen, this is the weakest.
I do like his idea for multiple Chuckies. I think that would have been
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that I would love to see that play out in maybe a future one. Like,
Well, in Cult of Chucky, it kind of does. So
Okay, cool.
we'll get to it eventually. So this movie, in Great Britain in particular, caused a huge moral satanic panic tabloid issue.
Of course it did.
Because there was a case where 2 10-year-old boys murdered a younger boy named James Bolger, who was 2. And
Jesus.
people blamed it on seeing this film, although nothing in this film for me would suggest killing a child.
No, because Tyler's really the only child, and he lives.
Yeah. And it was later determined that neither of the boys had seen the movie. So it was completely...
That's exactly what you would expect out of a satanic panic anything.
However, there was one actual case, the case of Suzanne Capper, who was kidnapped and tortured by some of her former friends, people she knew who kidnapped and tortured her. And part of their torture was playing the audio of, "Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?" for maximum volume.
Okay.
Through headphones over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Oh, wow. I mean, they do sort of that in the CEO scene, and it was too much. I hated it.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And before they would commence each torture session, they would say, "Chucky's coming to play."
Oh, God. This is the worst fun fact.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse because unfortunately, Suzanne Capper did not survive. She was set on fire and left to die. She did survive that.
God.
She was found alive, crawled to safety, but unfortunately succumbed to her injuries, but not before being able to let the authorities know who had tortured and ultimately killed her.
I mean, I guess that's a bright side in a shit sandwich, but like, that's terrible.
Yeah. It's super terrible, but that all happened right around this movie as well, just as the James Bulger case was happening. So this movie had a lot of weird controversy around it. This is the first one to use computers for Chucky's puppetry, specifically his lip syncing. It's not quite there yet.
Yeah.
The next one does a great job.
Okay.
So, the only film in the series where Andy Barclay is played by a different actor instead of Alex Vincent. This is the only one. And the reason for that is because there's an 8-year time jump movie to movie, but it was less than a year between the second and third films. So
you couldn't be like, "Hey, the guy who played Andy in the first 2 films, you're now going to play a 16-year-old." And he's like, "But I'm 12. I can't do that." Like, yeah.
He does appear twice in the movie, though, via photos as young Andy.
Sure, yeah.
Both in the beginning and then in the file. And Alex Vincent actually returns in Curse of Chucky in 2013 and Cult of Chucky in 2017.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This is also Brad Dourif's least favorite movie in the series. It's a lot of people's least favorite, I would say. This was filmed at a military school. It was Kemper Military School and Junior College in
District
Boonville,
2?
Missouri.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
The movie called the school Kent, and the school is now closed down. Originally, they approached Peter Jackson to direct this film.
Oh my God. Fresh off of Frighteners, which is a movie we haven't seen yet, but.
Fresh off of Frighteners and Dead Alive, which has been streaming, but we hadn't been able to catch it a couple times that's been streaming, but now it's streaming pretty regularly, which is good.
Yeah.
It is also the final film in the franchise to include the lore that Chucky must transfer his soul into the first person he revealed his true identity to.
Good.
Within a limited time frame. In Bride of Chucky, which is the next one, they retcon this lore and introduce the Heart of the Damballa amulet that Charles has allegedly always had and was buried with his corpse. With the amulet, he can possess any human host that he wants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think there was something in the first movie.
I don't remember an amulet.
Like when he's the human version of himself, I think he holds something.
Maybe, I don't know. The cast, the young adult cast that played all the military students, actually did capture the flag paintball on set.
Nice. Okay.
Just as like an activity for all of them. And there's so many other fun facts online. Go ahead and research them. I mean, it's Chucky, so there's like a million. There's documentaries, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But for right now, those are your fun facts.
Well, awesome. Thank you for those curated fun facts. But let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Child's Play 3 in 1991?
I have to recuse myself because I know.
All right, Mikey, what do you think? 1991, what was the budget?
$7 million.
All right. It was actually $13 million.
Okay.
And if you adjust that for inflation, that's roughly $28.5 million today. Now, this movie came out on April 30th, 1991, and was number 2 in the box office that week. It was beat by Dead Again. Of course, Child's Play was number 2. Number 3 was Terminator 2 Judgment Day, that had been out for 9 weeks and was still in the top 3.
Yeah.
Number 4 was another pretty solid movie, Hot Shots, that had been out for 5 weeks. And the 5th movie was Doc Hollywood. So what do you think Child's Play 3 brought in its first weekend? And again, it was second in the box office.
I actually know this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
10 million?
Okay, so it was 1991, Mikey. If you adjust for inflation, you're probably closer. It was $5.7 million.
Gotcha. Still higher than I was.
Yeah, well, actually, if you adjust for inflation, that's 12.5 today, Mikey. So your guess of 10 million would be under. But it was only in theaters for a total of 3 weeks. So how much do you think it made in the domestic box office in that 3-week run?
13 million.
Paige, do you know, or do you have to recuse yourself?
I had heard something, and I don't know if it was domestic or worldwide, but it was like 20 million.
Yeah, so that was worldwide. It was
Okay.
14.2 million domestic and then another 5.6 international to make it roughly $20 million that it brought in. So it was more than its budget. Of course, this movie, you can stream it. I'm sure it's available in a bunch of places, and I'm sure it did really well on VHS and DVD and all of that shit. So I'm sure it's made plenty of money. But in the box office itself, it brought in 19.8 technically. But that's your box office. So, Mikey, do you want to hit him with that scary scale?
Yeah, our scary scale listeners, a scale 1 to 10 how scary we found the film today. Our 1 example is Ghostbusters, and our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Paige.
Oh, this is a 1 for me.
Todd.
It's a 1. Yeah, it's not scary at all.
1 for me too. And that's our scary scale.
So this week, you all made me watch Child's Play 3. What are you making us all watch next week?
We actually have not done one of the most famous, creepy toy
Spin-off.
movies.
Yeah, we haven't.
True story, question mark?
Oh, yeah, definitely a true story. Yeah.
We'll be doing Annabelle.
Yeah, Raggedy Annabelle
Yes.
is what we'll be doing next week. We actually get a lot of requests for Annabelle Comes Home, which we can't do until we do this one. So
She's got to leave home first.
Yeah.
We got to get her out
Yeah,
the door.
yeah.
Yeah, I am excited for the sequel, but we got to get through this one first.
Yeah. So your homework for next week is to watch Annabelle before she can come home. So the first one, and then check back next week for that episode.
Yes.
So Mikey, do you have a review for us to read?
No.
Well, while you're looking one up, let me tell them how they can have their review read on the podcast, and that is to leave us a 5-star text review, and we'll have Mikey read it for you. So Mikey, whose review are you going to do this week?
There's a lot of new reviews.
Yep, just got to pick one, Mikey.
Just got to pick one.
Just got to pick one, yeah. There was one from Saturday that's from Arster.
Gotcha. Arster says, get your horror fix wrapped in humor.
Yeah, that's pretty much a good log line for this show.
This podcast is awesome. I listen to this show and its sister show all the time.
Nice.
Aw.
The hosts are hilarious and knowledgeable about movies. You can tell they really enjoy watching and talking about movies.
Yeah,
Their opinions are mostly wrong,
that's fair.
particularly about Scream 3 and New Moon.
Did we do New Moon on this?
No, we did it on Romancing the Pod.
Anywho, one thing that the hosts need to work on is being more proud about the podcast. I get the impression that they're embarrassed to share or talk about the podcast in real life.
Okay.
Guys, you should be proud. You created 2 awesome podcasts that are a joy to listen.
That is very kind. It's not that I'm not proud. It's that everyone has a podcast. So when you say you have a podcast, everyone's assuming that it's on the same level as their podcast.
Right.
Plus, if you're constantly talking about not wanting people to know you podcast, why would we share it with ours?
Because it's fucking dope. This is a great show.
It's different when you're like, I like a show, listen to it. It's very different to then be like, I have a show.
If you don't think I begged all of my friends to listen to this when we first started it,
Yeah, of
I
course.
absolutely did. That's like the thing you do when you start a podcast, and then they all stopped and you all started listening, and I prefer that you guys listen, honestly.
I have an exercise for you out there. Write a short story. And then the next time you meet someone, say,
Tell
I
everybody
wrote a
about it."
short story. Do you want to read it?
But if your friend was like, yo, you got to check out Mikey's short story, it's awesome, you probably would, because you'd be like, Mikey can read?
Who knew?
But Arster, thank you so much for the compliment, and I do understand your point. But it's different if I tell someone to listen to my podcast.
We gotta stay humble, fam.
Yeah, one of their friends tells them to listen to our podcast.
Right.
Yeah, but if you want to have Mikey read your 5-star review, leave us a 5-star review.
I'm really good at sex. But if a girl you had sex with says he's really
Mikey's
good at sex.
really good at sex.
yeah, it's the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of putting it.
Yep.
So, guys, if you like this show but want to hear this power throuple on another movie review show about romance and romantic comedies, check out Romancing the Pod, where Mikey, Paige, and I break down and make fun of romantic movies. It's a lot of fun, guys. Check it out. If you want to follow us on social, please do. We are at Horror Virgin or online at horrorvirgin.com. If you want to follow us all individually, you can do that as well. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Twitter or Rampage Wesley everywhere else, including TikTok. TikTok. Mikey is at mrandolph24, and I am at Todd J. Awesome. If you like the show so much and you want to help financially support it, please do by going to patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where you can get a lot of great levels and a lot of great stuff like bonus episodes, director's cut episodes where they're a little bit longer and you get them actually a day earlier than the regular feed drop. We do a lot of great things like listener requests and stuff like that. So guys, check out the Patreon and help support the show.
If you want to financially support me, but not Todd, just look me up on Venmo.
If you can't financially support the show, that's understandable. That's fine. But if you want to hang out with us on the daily, join the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/horrorvirgin. We also link it like once a week. So just find it there and join the awesome Facebook group. Literally, we're in there talking every day. It's awesome. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff.
Yeah.
And if you want to check out our Twitch stream, we're at twitch.tv/Todd Awesome, where we will be playing horror video games. So if you have always wondered what it would be like to watch me get scared, you can now do that on Twitch while I play these horror games. It's twitch.tv/Todd Awesome, guys. Check it out. It's a lot of fun for you. Not a lot of fun for me. And if you haven't noticed, since October 1st, we have been running the new Horror Virgin blog. And when I say we, I really mean Katie from the Facebook group. She's been running everything. She's like the managing editor of the Horror Virgin blog. So if you haven't been to our Horror Virgin blog, go check it out. It's at horrorvirgin.com/blog. You'll see it. It's awesome. There's a lot of great articles. I mean, at the end of October, we have 31 awesome articles up, but check out our awesome Horror Virgin blog up now. This episode was brought to you by Tia, and Tia's teenager's been just like driving her crazy. So how is Tia's teenager driving her crazy this week?
Tina's teenager.
Always complaining that Tia never writes her a letter.
Oh no, has Tia been dead this whole time?
We didn't want to tell you.
Tia sold nuclear secrets to Kim Jong-un.
I
No.
knew it. This episode is also brought to you by Jonathan, and Jonathan wants me to share with you guys some videos, so let me do that right now. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Awesome. This video is called
Yay!
Bacon
Dylan
Grease
Hollis.
Cookies.
They're delicious. I've made them before.
Wait, really?
Yes.
So what is it? It's bacon grease you put in cookies?
Yeah, you sub some of your fat, like your butter or your oil that you would normally bake with bacon grease. For cookies, it's almost always butter.
Yeah.
That you sub some bacon grease in. And it gives them just kind of a light, salty smokiness to go along with the chocolate.
Damn, that sounds really good, actually.
It's delicious. They're
I
so
love
good.
maple bacon, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
no, it's if you like maple bacon, anything, it's 100% worth it, and they're delicious.
Awesome. I mean, I like this guy. He's super animated, but
I love Dylan Hollis.
what you just described
I'm gonna
was
buy his cookbook.
delicious.
I'm so excited for
Oh,
it.
are you? Nice. Are you going to buy the presidential cookbook when my family releases it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, I was not expecting that answer. Well, thank you so much. And Jonathan, thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much for the awesome videos and the support. We appreciate it. We now return you to another episode of the Patreonicals. What's going to happen this week, Mikey?
Some weird shit.
Well, I mean, it left off in a very sexual place last week. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
Honestly, that's probably for the best. So what's going to happen this week, Mikey?
This week on Planet Crouton.
Hell yeah, he remembered, Paige.
He did remember, and it's reminding me of earlier this week when my sister called one of our former high school classmates a human crouton. And it was one of my favorite things ever.
I lived on Planet Crouton for a while, and I went to a concert, and I was like blown away when the guy announcing it was like, "Are you ready for the Yeasty Boys?"
Yeasty boys!
I can't stand it. I know you baked it. I'm just vamping until Mikey comes up with this week's episode.
I'm ready.
Let's do it, baby.
Okay. Planet Crouton. The giant saucer appears in the sky.
Okay.
On the ship, it looks like the big fucking flying saucer from Independence Day.
Nice. Okay. So it's that big, like blowing up the White House big, like that big?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
And so on board the ship are Alex, the traitor magician.
Okay.
All magicians are traitors because they won't tell me their secrets.
He's made our faith in him disappear.
Holy shit. Oh, that was amazing.
Wes, Mr. Handsome,
Yeah.
has been kidnapped by the Munns again.
Oh,
'cause
no.
he's handsome. Danielle, the Moon Queen, sits with her crown, and Aaron, the Moon General.
Crown made of long fingers.
Yes, Libby, the Prime Minister, who handles more of the bureaucratic side of the Mun Empire.
That checks
is
out,
also
yeah.
there.
That's
Yeah,
like
this
a
is their
prime minister type
flagship.
role. Yeah.
And Danielle says, "Do it." And so Libby, Aaron, presses the big red button, and a giant laser starts to go down towards the planet Crouton.
Oh, no. Are we talking like Star Trek drill laser or the one that blew up the White House laser from Independence Day?
We're talking Death Star
Oh, no!
levels of laser.
That's no moon.
Yeah. That's no mun.
I didn't realize that they called planet Crouton Alderaan.
They're about to call it Alderaan.
Oh, shit! I'm going to drop in an air horn sound effect.
Okay, back to the thing. So, on the donut, shiny donut, the Santa Maria pistol thing, whatever,
Pistol
the ship.
thing? It's a ship,
They're like,
Mikey.
oh shit, the ship is saying that laser is gonna blow up the planet. We gotta evacuate. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, so the ship's like nav computers going off saying, hey,
Yeah.
it's going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
We got to be Alder gone before we get blown up
yeah,
on this
gotta get
planet.
Alder
Yeah,
gone.
I got you. Yeah.
So it's an evacuation time. Wolfric in his mouth has Lauren the cave person. They've become best friends because he's more of a wolf now than man.
I'm sorry. But Lauren, the cave person, is in Wolfric's mouth?
Yeah, you know how like they put puppies in the mouth and carry them away and stuff?
Yeah, okay. So it's like a nurturing in the mouth, like carrying them by the tuft of their neck. Okay.
They're running to the ship to
Yes,
evacuate.
okay.
Captain Bruder is on the loudspeaker and he's like, "We gotta get out of here." And they're all like, "Oh God." And Garotica, she's crying because she doesn't want to see this planet be destroyed.
Right.
So she comes back to the ship with her heavy metal axe.
I figured she would fly away on her space pterodactyl.
That's better. She's doing that now.
Okay,
She's like,
cool.
"I'll meet you upstairs." Yeah.
I'll meet you upstairs, a.k.a. space.
Space. Yes. Amy's like, we have to get this sort of distance out of there because she's an astronaut.
Oh, because she knows how far an explosion of a planet goes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, she'd know.
Absolutely. Mr. Rage Bomb has gotten back into the generator in the ship and he's blowing up because it's a combustion engine. And so he's powering up the ship.
Sure, yeah. I was about to say, of course it'd be a combustion engine because it's a spacefaring vehicle, but I mean, in all fairness, it used to be an like 1400s era ship, so whatever, yeah.
Anthony the Time Master and Jennifer the PH have been secretly developing a time device.
I love it. I love
And
it so much.
They're hidden on the ship together and they're working on it and they're like, they're whispering. So it's like a foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It's our Age of Ultron moment here. Vance H.H. Holmes serial killer is just murdering blue people and Muns left and right.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't
comes
care.
back to the ship.
Yeah.
He comes back to the ship. I probably should make him a bad guy at some point, but it's kind of funny.
I do really love that, like, the good people in the Patreonicals have embraced H.H. Holmes. It almost makes me wonder if people have the capability of being all good or all evil. Maybe everyone's a little good, everyone's a little bad.
I just don't think they know how to deal with that situation yet.
Yeah, because if you kill one person, you're a murderer. But if you kill a million people, you're almost like, oh, wow, that's like,
Right.
What does your day look like?
Cody packs up his pawn shop on Planet Crouton where he's made a lot of money and traded a lot of exotic objects. So he's like, you know what? Hate to lose the planet, but we've got a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
You know,
We've got all now useless currency that we sold our goods for. So, yeah,
he
great.
trades it for other objects too. They're pawning stuff off
Oh, that's
to him.
true. Okay, so he now
he's got-
has a museum of Crouton on the ship.
Jeremy with his laser eye mourns his toe still mourning that toe. Laser tears fall from those eyes.
Laser
as
tears.
he boards the ship.
Laser tears.
Okay.
Bo Easy, who has secretly developed a space jet ski, gets on it and rides off into space.
To ride the space waves, brah.
Yeah. Allie the mermaid, she gets into her mermaid tank in the ship.
Hell yeah.
And gets to spread out.
So now, correct me if I'm wrong. When there's no water, she can walk around, but when she is in water, that's when she has a tail, or always has a tail.
If she gets splashed with water, a tail develops. She can
Okay.
retract.
So
but
it
she
is
likes
splash
to
rules.
spread out. Yeah, it's
Okay.
splash rules.
Okay.
Nathan, the professional wrestler, he comes back with a giant belt that he thought was a championship
Yeah,
belt.
he's like, we gotta go, brother. I won the cage
Yeah.
match.
woo! He's got the whole crouton belt. He's like super excited about it.
Pretty sure he lost, actually. So I wonder how he ended up with that belt. Maybe he'll tell us next week.
Yeah, we'll invent something for that.
If we remember.
If we remember, Driscoll with the Illuminati is like, where are we going to go? What are we going to do?
And the astronaut's just like, anywhere that's not currently being blown up by a huge fuck off ship.
Natasha drags Karun into the ship. They're both sobbing. All of their family and everyone they've ever known is dying in front of their eyes.
This actually is tragic for them, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is like Princess Leia with Alderaan. And arguably, she took that real well in Star Wars, honestly.
Yeah, they wouldn't leave. They had to get Scott the Thing to just carry them on their shoulders as they cried
Nice.
and bring them back into the ship.
Okay.
And then they take off, and the planet is destroyed by the Muns.
Just tons of breadcrumbs all around them.
Yes. But then all of a sudden, Captain Bruder's like, oh no, where's Dave?
Uh-oh.
They left him on the planet and he was blown up.
Oh, no.
And that's the end of the episode.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait till next week to find out what happens on another episode of the Patreonicals.
Well, that's going to be it for us. You guys, I'm Paige.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Bye, murderous doll loving nerds.